Where does that mean? Well, it might
Oh, you know what's yes, a tutor. Joyce is a student. No, my first time was Joyce. It was been so long. Teachers.
from the library. I used to work at the library. I worked. I am Joyce in the library. And now you're a tool too. I am. Cool. It's out. I also work with. Oh, very cool.
Oh, I'm Mandy.
Right. You're Mandy? But you're supposed to be virtual. I'm waiting on you. How are you today?
I'm good.
Did you rather eat something?
I just came from the daycare on campus, so
Did you schedule it so that you meet in person? If you come on the daycare?
it's okay. It's okay.
Rather than virtual?
Okay. It's that's the thing from Mecca. That's how her little thing on my calendar. But I'm coming in person for her.
Oh, so like no daycare.
Yeah.
It's good to know because otherwise I would have dialed in from home.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's okay. Like, if you were at home, I could just join on.
Oh, okay. Rather meet in person.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. I'm with the towel.
So I got your homework.
Yeah, that's what I was working on, and this one is due this Friday.
So you checked it out already.
Yes, I am. Near Chinatown, in the Armor Square.
That's a long commute.
Yeah, so it takes me an hour to like get to the river train, and then it takes an hour each for the ticket. If I were to like come up in later afternoon, yeah. But in the morning, my mom dropped us off, dropped off, and I ride the 92 up. I declared my major last summer, and I finished my minor last summer. I did the clinical. So I am done with my minor. I'm just doing my major, and I just started the major classes last fall.
And what are you going to do in your
Early childhood
development?
Yeah.
For teaching?
Yeah, that's why I did the minor and the classic.
Yes. Did you begin at Chicago?
Yeah.
That's cool. So this will be easy to work with.
Yeah, but it's been a long time ago, so I don't really remember.
So
Been
you
a
were in
long.
Chicago? Did you have things in Chicago?
I was when I was born. I did go back to China when I was a baby,
Yeah.
and when I was in preschool, and so like when I came back from China during my preschool age, the teachers kept on telling other teachers that she went to China and just came back. Yeah, they were kind of bragging about me going back to China.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What part of China is she from?
Guangzhou.
Guangzhou in
Yeah.
the south?
Yeah, close to Hong Kong, that part of
it's
China.
very close.
Yeah.
Better than Chicago.
Yeah. I haven't been back since that
Since you were
when
little?
yeah. My brother, my second younger brother, he went back when he was like a few months old.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we haven't really went back to China. Yeah. And not all of us have a passport. Only me and my second younger brother, and my first and third one, they don't have a passport. They've never been.
Are your grandparents still alive in China?
They have they didn't recently, but like they have passed. So my last of my grandparents that live in China, they passed. Yeah, they passed last year during Christmas. Yeah. So no more grandparents, just the uncles
Uncles and
and
aunts.
cousins and stuff. Yeah, they're all in China.
You're fortunate to have two cultures.
Yeah, and there are some here, but like they're in the suburbs, or like some of my cousins are in California. Yeah, they're like all over.
All over the place.
The ones that are here are like all over the 50 states.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You're fortunate to have two cultures.
Yeah. And then like my brothers, they seem like they're losing their own Cantonese language. They don't really speak it, but they kind of understand it.
They can follow it.
They understand but don't speak it. Only me, like compared to my cousins, I speak a little bit more Cantonese compared to them. They mostly English, even though they understand. Yeah.
It's cool.
The way they speak it would kind of like sound like more Americanized. The way
you would an
Yeah.
American accent inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. I worked in North China many, many years ago. In Beijing and Tianjin, up by Hangzhou. That was a long time ago.
Mhm.
It was a good experience. Good culture to come from.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing in Tu?
Um,
Have you
I
been in the program before?
when I was at Truman, I was in trio also
Really?
because I was in Gear Up in high school at Sun High School. So I was from Gear Up to trio, and then trio from there, Truman to here trio. So I've been in the trio since like high school-ish. Because trio and Gear Up is kind of similar idea, so like I've been in it since high school.
So tell me what tutors helped you with
Um,
your English skills are great. I mean,
yeah, but mainly my grammar with I have but not a bunch, but I have fragment sentence.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think when I've been coming to tutoring, the helping my grammar in my papers a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been like that.
Like for editing and stuff?
Yeah, and grammar. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I could do that.
Yeah.
My sister is retired also. She is an ESL teacher. So she knows the 11 grammar rules inside. If you get stuck, I can always text her and say, okay, for this.
Yeah, I have written something and I'm edited yesterday with Meta, but I didn't really go revise it yet. But I just sent it to you.
So
This is what I have sent it to you too. Yes.
you sent me, I got this.
And I had just recently sent you this.
Okay,
Yes.
let me find it. Okay. Mandy's early. Okay. This is
That's the directions it in.
Okay.
It's on the second page.
Okay, let's see. You went to the magnet school? Wow.
Yeah, and I for this daycare thing, that's where I've been working for, and like in 21, and during the pandemic, 21 November, the day after my birthday, I started working there until like recently, and then I moved here to
Was
work.
it a good experience?
Yeah, I was like, I kind of felt like depressed-ish because of their lighting. It's always like kind of gloomy. It's yellow light.
Oh,
And then I was in the like before I was in one classroom, but their lighting is still they saving energy with all their lights. They have many locations.
okay.
One on Ainsley by the Broadway, that little Ainsley post office location. There's one here for toddler and infant. And then on Broadway there is the 2-year-old preschool age, and then now the school age is up on top. So that but they used to have one on by Gaudi across, but since they're fixing on the CTA, they have to move everybody up there to Broadway.
Okay.
Their lighting is always dim.
Oh, that's
So that's why
depressing.
like I felt kind of depressed, and then like the little people, the way they the way they me is kind of depressing-ish too. Yeah. I was depressed when I was there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Lighting makes a difference. I'm an art person, so lighting makes a big difference.
Yeah, it was kind of depressing. Even in the office that the people work in, it was very dark.
Depressing.
Yeah. Oh, everywhere is very. So it was kind of to make my mood. Yeah.
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 And then they had asked me, if I wasn't in the classroom, do I want to work in the office with them too? But like their lighting is very, the mood is not good. So
It's not a good place. It's better here. You're at
the light is white light, so it's brighter, and like there's student age around my age-ish, so I feel more happy here.
I would be happy.
Yeah, I'm a bit more happy here.
Yeah, I would be happy.
Yeah.
It's good to be with students here.
Yeah, and the director understand more because I'm still in class. When I was over there, they didn't have much teachers too, so that's why they didn't want me no more because of I was kind of requesting off almost all the time because I was still yeah, and I was attending some trio events during the summertime, so that's why I was requesting some of the days off, and they weren't approving it, and I still went. That's why too. Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
This is much better for you.
Yeah, I felt a bit more happy.
And it'll be easier because you commute for school and then you could study for work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good thinking, Lincoln.
Yeah, like if I'd have done that like during the 21 pandemic-ish or something like that, I've been like more happy too. Yeah.
Well, it's not, you can't.
Yeah, I know, like if I had like yeah.
There's so many, you don't want to.
Yeah.
So let's see what you wrote.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So first sentence looks good. I was at Disney until 8th grade. Okay.
Yes.
I was in preschool when I was 3 years old. I was a preschooler for 2 years until I was 5. Okay. How is best to I think we could arrange these sentences a little
Okay.
different. How is best to do this for you? This is where I would, okay, from the idea. During my early childhood, I attended the daycare and preschool. I attended when you were in second grade. When you were in preschool, when you were in preschool, you were from 2 years to 5 years, yes?
Because so-called like during that time we were a so-called for kind of like a pre-K-ish preschool. So
I think this sentence needs to be number 2.
okay. I was trying to say like I was in it because at that time you were like you have to be 4 or before first, but I was 3 and in preschool already. It was at like that time. And then I was so-called into preschool for 2 years and then kindergarten.
Okay, well, let's say that then, because it sounds like you're jumping around. Because your second sentence is, I attended Walt Disney Magnet School from preschool to second grade. And this says you're in the Southeast Asia Center in your first sentence for preschool and kindergarten. Were those both the same school, or were they separate schools?
So first, the daycare one,
The Southeast Asia Center, is that in Chicago?
is the one that's down that way. Yeah.
Okay, and you attended that from, how old were you?
I think I was like a baby, toddler age to.
Okay, well, let's identify it then. What if we say something like, during my infant school or infancy, you know, you were just being a toddler, or you can say, as a toddler, I attended Southeast Asia Center until I was 3 years old. Is that in Chicago?
Yeah, it's just down.
Just put comma in Chicago, comma. It gives a point of reference.
Okay.
Okay, you gotta put a comma after the word center.
Okay.
Because the in Chicago is not the primary part of your sentence, but it gives your reader a sense to know where is the Southeast Asia Center. Okay, until, you want to say until the second grade, right? That's when you went to the Disney school, correct?
So-called like for that one, I was there for the preschool one.
So how old were you when you went to the Disney school?
3.
Okay, so until, or you can put, what if you try this? Put a period after Chicago.
Okay.
In the next sentence, you say, I was here until I was 3 years old. Or maybe another way to say, I attended this daycare until I was 3 years old.
Okay.
Okay, period. After second grade, or from 3 years, you can say, then you transferred to the Walt Disney School in Chicago until the second grade. Is that correct?
So-called I attended from the preschool to 8th grade, but like they have mentioned about second grade, so that's why I also included the 8th grade.
Okay. Do you remember anything about the Southeast Asia Center in Chicago? You would.
Yeah, very small and stuff.
So most people don't remember that.
Yeah, the only thing they really say, my parents would say, is like, so one time I brought a $5 to the daycare or something, and then like the teachers they kept it in my cubby, and then they gave it to my parent at the end. That's the only thing. Not really
It's
remember.
not really too relevant.
Yeah, not for reading. Like that's the only thing that from the daycare that they
Remember.
they would say about it's just that about the $5, but it's
Oh.
not really reading.
Okay, this is about your reading
Yeah.
experience. Do you think okay. What do we have here?
No, I think we're still.
The Walt Disney Magnet School, you were there from preschool and kindergarten to the second grade, is that correct?
Not it was to eighth grade.
You went to the Disney school.
From preschool, like their
Okay.
preschool age 3 at that time to eighth grade.
Okay, so what you can say then is from preschool, I transferred to Walt Disney School. You transferred in the second grade? Why is there a reference to second grade?
Because so-called and that little question here is it a pre-K to second grade?
Oh, that's fine. Let me turn this off, please. Go on in. Sorry. Okay, so from when you went to Disney school, you were there until you were in eighth grade, yes?
Yes.
Like when you were like from age of 4?
3 to
Right.
3 to 13 or 12.
Okay. So what if we say from preschool, I transferred to Walt Disney School and stayed the end period. And you didn't stay there. That's not the right way to say it.
Okay.
You were educated. Period. This was my grammar school until eighth grade. Or you can say, this is my grammar school and I graduated from eighth grade. How does that read? You wanna put a paragraph breaker, a return bar? So let's see how those two sentences read. Okay. So how does that sound? After toddler, you need to put a comma. As a toddler, comma, I attended Southeast Asia and Chicago. Okay, we don't need the comma there after centering.
Okay.
I attended this daycare until I was 3 years old. From preschool, I transferred to the Walt Disney School. This was my grammar school until eighth grade. Or you can say I attended Walt Disney's. I attended this school till eighth grade and graduated from it. But what do you think?
Yeah, sure. The one you said. This.
Till I graduated from eighth grade. You want to tell them anything that you went to China for a while?
But
When did you go?
so-called when I was a
toddler?
few months old, like my brother too. I think like 6 months. I went back, and then during preschool that age, I have went back again.
Okay. Did you stay for a long period?
I think it was when I went for the CPS one. It was during the school year, so it was in March or April. February, so like a 2 week or so like yeah.
When you were in grammar school?
Yeah, and preschool.
In preschool, preschool, you went back from Chicago Public Schools to China
No, I traveled to China for 2 weeks.
as an experience, or
No, it was
just
just
see
like to
relative?
see relative for the 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And then that's why the teachers, when I came back, they were like said she went back to China to almost like all the teachers I see. Like
Oh, they were recognizing you for it
yeah, for going back to
because
China.
it's unique.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was during the school year too, so
So how did you learn to read? That's our next question. Pull all this stuff out there from preschool down to your birthday, because I don't think it's relevant. Because the question is, where did you go to school? So it's something that you can answer very, very, very contained.
okay, yes.
Okay. How did you learn to read? Do you remember how you learned to read?
Like here
In
I
grammar
said
school?
not really. Even like kind of when I mentioned these questions to my mom, she don't really. It's been too long. Even for my brothers, it
Are your parents first generation? Are your parents from China?
my mom's from Hong Kong. My dad was like so-called born in Vietnam, and then it's a Vietnamese Chinese,
Okay.
like Vietnamese born Chinese. So like
did they meet here in America, or did they meet?
so kind of like a arranged-ish marriage with the one of the family members. That kind, so like it's in China. They got married in China.
They got married in China,
Yeah.
and then came to here.
My mom, she moved here when she was she was 7th grade or like 7 years old. So she moved here and became a citizen here. So she attended school here until college. And then when she was in her college age, like 24, 20 something, early 20s, she went to China to get married.
I see.
Yeah.
In China or in Hong Kong?
They went to China.
Okay.
Where they yeah, the Guangzhou or the Guangzhou, that one of those little cities. Yeah.
Oh,
That they're from. My dad's side is from.
Your
To
relatives are
marry.
from.
Yeah. The dad's side. Yeah. They married over there.
Wow, that's really cool. So your dad, his family is Vietnamese?
Not really Vietnamese, but they do speak. They're able to speak Vietnamese.
Very different language.
Yeah, he's able to speak Vietnamese, and then not
Cantonese?
Cantonese, Mandarin. He can speak Mandarin, and another kind of like a dialect is a kind of language.
China is a huge country.
Yeah, I know. There's like so
lots
many
of
languages. Yeah, he can speak another kind of it's this X one is a Hokkien. That's kind of like the name of it. He can speak that too. My mom can understand it but can't speak that one. But she speaks Cantonese very good. Little bit of Mandarin. She understands but can't really speak it. Yeah. She does speak it but not that much.
That's really cool. Yeah. So just coming back to where you learned, you probably learned to read when you were at the Disney school, like in first grade, second grade, correct? Do you remember your mom would read these stories when you were a kid, right?
For reading, really is they did kind of not really. They were kind of busy more with their work, so they were not that able to read that much to me. Even though I was like the firstborn until like later on, until third grade, but they weren't really reading to me.
Okay.
I don't really remember them reading.
That's okay.
Yeah, because it's been a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But you learned to read in school.
I think
most students learn to read in first grade, second grade.
I think when I was in that daycare, I kind of learned to read because I'm not really sure, but I think that's when I was there, and that a preschool age part, that other side of the classroom, they might have start teaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did we say? I'm not sure how I learned to read. My parents occasionally sang songs and read some bedtime stories. That's true, yes? My teachers are the ones who mainly taught me how to read, since I was with teachers most of the mornings and afternoons. Well, okay, I had less interaction with my parents with books. I could have been less interested in reading books with my parents, since they didn't really read books. Okay, that just went around in a circle there. So what if we try to write this different? Let's say, okay, you don't specifically remember learning how to read.
Yeah, like it's been too long.
Oh, well, I don't specific learning how to read. However, I was in daycare center and people read books to me. And my parents occasionally read books to me at bedtime. You need a noun here, read books. To me. And my parents read books. Your parents occasionally sang songs and read books to me at bedtime. That's a good sentence. You read, okay. You want to put down here.
Yes.
You also learned to read from teachers in first and second grade. From teachers in grammar school. If you want to make an introduction about your parents, you could say that your parents are first generation and did not read first generation Chinese and mostly spoke. Did your parents mostly speak Mandarin at home?
Cantonese.
Canton.
Yeah, only my mom will speak English because she went to school here.
Yeah.
My dad was from China, so he don't really speak any English.
Yeah, so you could make a statement about that. That would tell a little bit specific about who you are.
Okay.
My parents they are still alive.
Okay, yes.
So. Where are they first generation from? You want to put Chinese? You would just say first generation Chinese there.
Okay.
You don't need the reference of where they're from. First generation Chinese. And we spoke Mandarin at home. Capital N. Oh, yeah, mainly Mandarin or Cantonese. Can I ask?
Yes.
You put mainly Cantonese and occasionally English.
Okay, Helen.
Who else?
2L.
Yeah. Oh, it still didn't take it. Let's see what's wrong here. There we go. Okay. Did you go to the library at all when you were a child?
I think one of the question is about the library, but I can also
The rest of
include it.
this, I think you can remove this.
Okay. Delete everything, right?
Yes. Because you already spoke, you given a reason that your parents read to you at bedtime, but mostly they spoke another language at home.
Mm-hmm.
So they were not necessarily reading books all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have a favorite memory about learning to read?
I kind of have, yeah.
John Apples. What grade were you in? Do you remember when you did?
It was, I think it was either when I was because my little, that Walt Disney have 3 floors.
Mm-hmm.
The top one is the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and the middle one is the
Middle school?
not really middle school. It's 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and yeah, I think it's that. And then the bottom's preschool, kindergarten, 1st grade. That's
Okay.
how they put it. Since there's 3 floors.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think it was either like the lower 2nd and 1st floor at time.
Okay.
So around the 1st, 2nd grade-ish, I think.
That's kind of a sophisticated book for 1st and 2nd grade.
Or
That's
something.
more like 3rd grade.
If it's 3rd grade, it's still on the 2nd floor too.
Okay. You would still remember? Yeah. Johnny Appleseed is kind of a complex idea. So that would be like more like 2nd, 3rd grade reading. But you can say, okay, we did a play, a class play, since it was about animals, a non-fiction character.
But it's not really it's a fiction character.
He is a fiction character. We did it. Why don't we change this a little bit to say our class?
Okay.
Did a play. Since it was about apples. I'm not understanding. What's the connection to the apples?
It's,
or how you remember it?
I think I kind of remember it because that's the only really one that we would do a play about, even though there are those like those kind of like the those fables.
Uh-huh.
Those about the tall that little bunion, right?
All bunny.
Yeah, those little
Those stories.
those
yeah,
those stories
those
are kind of
connected
more
with you and you remembered.
because they're more memorable-ish.
Yeah,
Because
they are.
you were like we kind of learn it almost like every year, even though like it'll be a different kind of version of it. Seems like we're learning it every year in the storybook.
Okay, so let's tell them about that. My favorite memory is about learning about fables. Those are about fables. Like you would have learned about Hans Christian Andersen at that time. You know, like the stories about the Little Mermaid.
I don't think we were
You did mostly American ones, like Paul Bunyan and Johnny Appleseed are American fables.
And then maybe some like cultural, it's more fictional little, like Rosa Parks. There was about that time too. But then the little
like 3rd, 4th grade that you would have been reading those.
Yeah, those little things.
That's about the age that kids remember stuff.
Yeah.
Just so that you know, they don't remember too much about 1st or 2nd grade.
Mm-hmm.
But by 3rd, 4th grade, your memory is starting to develop where you remember things other than family. You know, what's your favorite food, or are you mad at your brother or sister?
Yeah, I did that. Yeah. Okay.
So maybe put my favorite memory about learning to read is from like the 3rd or 4th grade. when we read fables about Johnny Appleseed and Paul Bunyan. You can connect those as one sentence
Yes.
and take the period out of the back off of fourth grade
Oh, okay.
and make it, or you can say here, when I read Johnny Appleseed and Paul Bunyan. Spell Bunyan. B-U-N. We could look that up. Because he's a hero in my B-U-N-Y-A-N. B-U-N-Y-A-N. Oops, where we get in there. So you want to say Paul Bunyan stories. You could say our teacher led the class to do a play about Johnny Appleseed. Did you play? Were you one of the people on the play?
I think it was just the audience because
Okay.
there wasn't really that many characters to play in it, the little
Okay.
plays. Yeah.
You could say this was very memorable. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Period. Okay, what do we got on the next paragraph? Or can we take all that stuff out of it? What do we got? Okay, can you scroll up or the next set of paragraphs?
Yes.
Okay, we can yeah.
Take
Erase
it
all
out.
that. Okay, how does that read? Okay,
Yes.
let's go back. We need a period here.
Where?
After the word grade, after the fourth grade.
Okay.
That's a period.
Okay.
At this time,
Um.
you could say, I remember reading Johnny Appleseed. Take the word read out. Stories here in my class. Now you go. Our teacher led the class to do a play about Johnny Appleseed. I don't think we need that. That was very memorable anymore.
Okay.
Because it's being redundant.
Okay. Okay.
Because you're saying you remember in the first,
Okay,
second sentence. How's that sound?
Yeah. Sure.
Does it sound cohesive to you?
Yeah.
Let's see. Favorite memory of learning to read is when I was in the third or fourth grade. I remember reading Johnny Appleseed and Paul Bunyan stories in my class. Our teacher led the class to do a play about Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah.
Does that kind of reflect your whole memory then?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. Yeah.
That's pretty consistent.
Okay.
Okay. So what is your least favorite memory about learning to read?
Yeah.
Did you have assignments from school or something that were?
I so called
I wrote my N's. What does it look like?
I'm not sure was that really related to reading, but
No,
the
let's see.
N
Tell me what you got here.
it's about how I wrote my little N's before. It was like the lowercase, how the lowercase for the big one instead
Yeah,
of
the capital N.
instead of the normal big one.
Uh-huh.
So that's the, but I'm not sure. That's not really reading, right?
No.
So, but
Tell me something
I don't
about
really
reading. Your least favorite memory about learning to read. Did you like to read chapter books?
As a general, I really think I don't really like to read.
Okay.
So even for the homework and stuff, I don't really like to read.
Okay. And you can say here, I don't really have a least favorite memory about learning to read.
Okay.
But generally, I'm not a very, reading is not your go-to to relax or something like that. You don't even need to say, this is for English. Yeah, I don't, yeah. You need the word least in front of favorite. I don't have least favorite memory about learning to read. Because you don't, right?
Yeah. So would that be it? Does
Yeah,
that, do you
you
think
can
that's good?
say, generally, I enjoyed learning to read. Or, yeah, that's interesting. No, I don't think
Yes.
the story about the ends, that has to do with writing and grammar.
Then
They're kind of close together, but they're not.
okay.
This
I
is
think I do have
specifically.
one of the little questions so called about okay then.
Okay. What were community literacy practices that you experienced growing up? This is a good one. I would draw a box around unknown words and later find out the definition of the words. Did somebody sit with you?
That's what the teachers were teaching us.
Is to look up the words that you didn't know?
I think I'm not sure. Yeah, this was in grammar school, and then high school also mentioned about doing this too.
I do it now.
Yeah.
I still have to look up words that I don't know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you skip over them, you're missing the meaning of what the paragraph was writing for.
Yeah.
So I learned to annotate my reading by highlighting and underlining the main ideas of the text. That's a very good statement. You could say, I also learned to draw a box, draw a box around any, you need the word, any, around any unknown words. And later, look up the definition of the words. Do you stop and look up the definition when you're reading the text, or do you do that?
That's so cool. I think it was so cool after reading everything.
Then you go back and you
And
look
then
up the words?
and go see what have a little box over.
Oh,
and
okay. Then you look up your words. Okay, that's good. Okay, what were some memorable books that you read? Traditional songs that were sung to you and listened to in family time. Okay. And do you remember? What do you have?
I have some here.
Okay. But, okay. The song, the duck, was a song my parents sang to me before I would take a nap. That's cool. You can just say, my parents taught me Cantonese because it was their first language. And they taught you English too, yes, your mom? Or you, instead of first, you can say preferred
Okay.
because they prefer to speak in their native tongue. P-E-P-R-E. It's going to come back and get that. There you go. How did that do that so fast for you?
I have these little lines from Grammarly.
Wow, that's really cool.
The extension.
It is. It was.
Okay.
Your parents are still their preferred language. Okay. They also are able to give me books in Chinese and try to teach me Chinese and math. Okay, that's cool. When you say books in Chinese to teach you Chinese, is Chinese different or is it Cantonese?
Because it's the writing one in the
Kanji characters.
yeah, that little kind of characters, like it's either simplified or traditional in the books.
Yeah, it's kanji.
But they have some for the pronunciation too.
Yes.
Those little books.
How do you spell kanji? Like, yeah, you can say your parents also gave gave you books to teach you Chinese writing and math. Or your parents also provided books. Books for me to learn writing in Chinese and math. How's that? My parents also provide books for me to learn writing in Chinese. Writing, that's cumbersome. To learn Chinese writing, the writing goes behind the word Chinese.
Okay.
I'm going to pull that up behind the preferred language.
Yes.
You learned English reading in school.
Yeah.
So why don't you just say that? That's a good thing.
Okay.
In school, I learned to read in English. I learned to read and write in English. Now, this is asking, okay, what role did these literary practices play in your overall literacy development? So do you still understand Cantonese?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then another paragraph would be, I still understand Cantonese language when spoken, and do you have full character fluency? You know, like kanji characters and stuff? Can you
I
read it?
speak it, but I can't read or write it.
Okay, so
That's
that's what you would say. I still understand Cantonese language spoken. However, I don't remember how to read. And that's when you call it kanji characters. I don't know how to spell the word kanji. I used to. Chinese characters. Chinese characters. Chinese words. How's it? What do you think? You could say as an adult or as a student. You are an adult. You're a young adult.
yeah.
I still understand Cantonese language. Do not know how to read Chinese characters. Don't. I do remember. I don't know how to read Chinese. Chinese, yeah, or Chinese writing. Writing. No, Chinese characters. We call. I think that's correct, isn't it?
The character.
Yeah, because some characters represent entire words,
Yeah.
just like English nouns and everything. Does that sound about right? I don't. Is there any particular books or anything that you remember?
Mm. If I have to like the books like during bedtime, it would be like those little those like stories like about the Disney characters, like those like movies. Those
Disney
are
books.
with, but kind of like little mini paragraphs with a little mini picture. Those little that most collection of many Disney Christmas or like their own little books. That's kind.
Let's see what we got. My parents taught me Cantonese. Cantonese. How about because it is their preferred language? I have another idea.
Yes.
You said they taught me Cantonese. Not because it is their preferred language, but it's. What if they taught you Cantonese at a young age? And my parents, my parents also provided books for me to learn Chinese writing and okay. School, I learned to read and write in English. Here, this, I still understand Cantonese needs to go above. In school, I learned to read English. So it's in reference to Cantonese.
Okay.
So just as we're to placement and paragraph.
Right. Yes.
Okay. I still understand Cantonese language spoken, comma. However, I do not read Chinese characters. Or I do not know how to read them, or I am not able.
Not.
To read Chinese characters. In school, I learned to read English. And were any books memorable to you when you were a kid?
Mm, there wasn't because like for the writing class, the books were all And
whatever books they provided in school.
it's on like a little book with many book stories inside. Like, and you turn to the to that story. Yeah.
Chapter books.
Not really a chapter book. It's kind of like a collection of other stories, and then in the back is the vocab kind of
Okay.
that.
So I learned to read and write English in school in the regular curriculum in the school. In school, I learned to read and write English. Period. That's all.
Okay.
You don't need it. How did these practice build your phenological awareness? What the heck is that? Is it something from your class?
That one I
Phonetics? Is that what that is?
yeah, like the
Phenological awareness. The words have constituent sounds. By syllables, onsets, rhymes, phonemes. Okay. So this is about phonological awareness is about how do you break down words and understand how to say them.
I think that I kind of struggle with that
Yeah.
because it's kind of hard to remember. We did
How to
learn
break
it.
down.
We did learn how to do it in elementary school,
Mhm.
but it's not the way the breaking it's during the early grades, and then like when you're old, like upper the grade levels, they stop doing that because you're supposed to already know how to read.
Because you know, well, you automatically, you do that all the time when you run into a word that you don't know.
Oh yeah, sound
You
it out.
break it out.
Yeah.
You sound it out. That's what this is. This is how do you sound out words?
Mm.
And what they're asking is, how did these practice build your how to sound out words awareness? Well, how did they? You learned how to break down syllables. No. And how to identify what elements of the syllables mean. You know, like if you see the word that says like um, destroy or something, the DIS says cancellation.
Yeah.
You learn that. You wouldn't naturally know that. That's something that you learn from learning words and how to build words.
Yeah, like those little compounds and prefixes.
Yeah, that's all you need to say. You could say, I learned to learn this in school. Okay. Were your parents involved in the reading process?
This one is kind of like the one that's I answered before.
Well, you could say again, you know, like your parents were not necessarily too actively involved in reading. Did they help you with homework and everything?
Mainly my mom, and then
Okay.
so-called my dad. Even when it's my mom mainly.
Okay, well, quick answer. My mother mostly helped us with homework. You want to capitalize it. I would say mother. Yes. Okay, whatever you said, my mother mostly. helped me with homework and the reading process. And then you can take the rest of that out.
Okay.
Because it doesn't need to be long.
Jesus.
Did you have experience reading a fiction in your second or second language? Okay, you did. You read Anthony's book.
I just don't know.
No, you didn't read Cantonese stories. Okay, so
I remember when my parents read it. It was in.
I didn't learn that. Did they read to you later?
It's also about how I mentioned earlier about those books that was in Chinese. There was like little there's a little fable-ish stories that they were reading. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what you were saying is, I mostly read you read most of your fiction books were in English.
Yeah.
They weren't in Cantonese.
Yeah.
So that's all you need to say. My fiction books, I learned to read fiction. Fiction stories in English. And not Cantonese. Period. Okay, and that's all you need. That's a tighter sentence.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you borrow books from the public library?
I had said yes.
Did borrow books. It's fun to borrow books from the library. Okay. Hey, I think we got this almost done. I know we're running long. When is this due?
Due Friday. On the 6th is Friday, right?
Yes. Okay, let's rock and roll and get this done. How many questions more do we have?
To O.
Yeah, oh man, she really wanted you to write, didn't she?
Because this so-called is either 2 to 3.
Yeah.
So like from this it can make it into paragraphs.
Okay, what's this say? Yes, I did borrow books from the library. There were all kinds of books. It was fun to borrow books. That whole sentence you don't need.
Which one?
Books, the last sentence, the books in the library books I had never seen before. I didn't have those books at home to read. You don't need that sentence.
This whole one?
Yes.
Okay.
That's redundant.
Okay.
Did a teacher have a Did you remember any of your teachers helping you learn to read? And if not, you can just say no, not particularly.
No. Right.
Yeah, period. And you could, the next one for I, you have nothing to contribute. Did you just describe the positive or negative impact? You don't necessarily have one, correct?
Yeah, I don't think so.
There- None of them. You just say N/applicable. Okay. It's not applicable because you don't have anything to contribute. How did your teachers respond to slow learners? Do you remember?
Because so-called I'm really considered as I read when they give them
Okay, so-
time limit.
Yeah.
Most of the time when they so-called you have to
do silent reading.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be even done with the reading.
Okay.
It'll be considered kind of slow.
So
Yeah.
let's scroll up. Let's see what you got here. Since I couldn't read the hard and long words, my teachers, here, can you roll it up? So I can see what you wrote or how do I do this on the sidebar? See. Okay. Like something around that book that we. That's good. Okay, so how did your teacher respond? So did your teacher have did she work with you or he work with you to help you sound out words that you didn't know when you were reading?
The so-called it would be either my teacher or my classmates when I'm so-called stuck at a certain word.
So this whole
Yeah.
front end said I couldn't read the hard long words. You would just say my teachers
My teachers.
and classmates helped me. I think that'd be. And others. And other students. You weren't the only one.
Other students.
Sound out. Read really to sound out and read long words. And they would help us. And what else was she doing? What was the teacher doing? And we would repeat the words 2 or 3 times to get the correct pronunciation. So all that can be taken out because you can also say what the difference means. Read slow, but we don't need it. We don't need all of this bottom stuff. Because this is about what did your teacher do specifically to help you get, with slow words. And you could say, did she give you extra time for slow readers for silent reading?
No, it seems like after everyone's done, like when this time's up, that's it. And then go over the reading.
Okay. Teachers were being nice to who didn't stumble on hard words. That's very prejudiced.
But it seemed that's the way it seemed like.
You could say, in my impression, let's see the impression. Teachers were being nicer. The students who didn't stumble on the words. Okay. What else we got?
And then one more.
Ready up there. Okay. What impact did your classroom have on you? Made me feel embarrassed, but happy to help my teachers and friends. It was fun to read as a class as long as it was now turned to read text. We would be laughing at each other because some of us could play around, say certain words in a low masculine voice. What would that?
This
Yeah.
when in a class, it was my turn to read the text. We would laugh at each other. Okay, we just need to clean that sentence.
Okay.
Okay, we would laugh at each other. And each other. And it's play around. Okay. Sometimes reading in low masculine voices. In a low. Reading the text in a low masculine voice. There you go. Okay. Let's read this now. It sounds much more solid.
Okay.
All of these sound really good. Do you
Yeah.
print out your homework and read it through once before you
Um,
submit it?
I try to reread it a few times
Okay.
before Sofa turning it in. Yeah.
I think it reads pretty good. I always print things out and read it once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sofa, like when you read it after
Yeah.
you're done, is you catch your mistakes.
Yeah, because that's what you want to look for, is
Yeah.
like too many spaces between sentences and stuff, or a sentence that doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
But I think you got this.
Yeah.
How's it feel to have it done?
I now just have to make sure it's 2 pages
Okay.
and like the paragraphs is
You know
good.
how to count words?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure, would it be 2 pages or like one
It
and a half?
says you're at 4 or 4.
But so called I have that little thing up here, so we
Yeah.
see that part. And then now it's so called 3, but I think it would be like a 1.5, 2 pages that it seems like.
Okay. I think you answered it all pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, I think it would be okay for Friday. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You got it done.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
Yeah,
Homework
all done. Yes, done for the week.
Done for the week.
That's the only homework due for this week.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, then it seems like next week will be,
Another piece of homework?
yeah, and it'll be for the 301.
Okay.
And that one I so called it's more difficult-ish because I have to watch like a 20-minute video and then take some notes
Okay.
from it and then type up a paper.
Okay.
That one seems more hard, even though it's not due next week, it's the week after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That one seems a bit hard. Yeah. That's like the
we
first
can work on that.
first homework.
Do you do tutoring every week? Or twice a week or once a week?
Right now, that's my first week of tutoring. Last week was first week of
Okay.
class, so there wasn't any tutoring last week. So this week is the tutoring week, the
Good.
start of tutoring.
You feel better about getting that?
Yeah,
done?
this seems like it's done,
Yeah.
but just make sure it's done.
Now you check your grammar.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did it. You're the
Yay.
first person I tutored.
Yeah.
I hope it was positive for you.
Yeah. It was positive. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I just need a chart. My
Cool. And you want to meet in person, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And Erin works with you?
It's Christina and Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will tell her that we're going to meet in person and we'll meet here.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
You're welcome very much.
Thank you very much.
And are you sometimes late because you're walking over from the daycare center?
Yeah, that's why I was kind of a bit like today. I was
Okay.
walking over. from
Gotcha.
the-
I'm free afterwards. So, I have the next person at 3 o'clock, so if I know that you might be late because you're walking up, that's fine.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a distance.
Be careful walking through the campus. Are you afraid you're gonna lose your watch if it's right there?
It's okay. That's,
Nice to meet you.
yeah, nice to meet you too. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.